I've been a huge fan of German food my entire life. I guess you can say that I'm somewhat biased since I was born in Germany, my mother was German, and I moved to Germany in 2020 partly because of the food. One of the main reasons I think German food is great is that it's a type of comfort food. And who other than food snobs doesn't like comfort food? So, to celebrate my love for German food, in this video, I'm going to present my 10 favorite foods in Germany. Of course, there are way more than 10 German foods that I love, so please don't be surprised by what's not on this list. In fact, whatever is not on this list is sure to find its way into a future video. Anyways, I'm going to start with savory foods and then move on to sweets. As with all of my videos, I hope this is in some way inspirational for those of you who want to learn more about German culture and for any of you who might want to move here. Los geht's! So obviously, I have to start with the quintessential German food that inspired the name of this channel, Bratwurst. There are, of course, many different types of sausage in Germany, but for me, Bratwurst is the best. The main reason I prefer it over the others is that it's usually made of lean pork and is almost always grilled or fried. I'm personally not a fan of fatty or boiled meats. Bratwurst can generally be found in small street kiosks, or what the Germans call an Imbiss, in downtown markets and in plazas. Of course, many German restaurants serve Bratwurst as well. It's usually served with a white roll or Brötchen with either mustard or ketchup. It's also often served with a side of fries. Bratwurst is especially awesome when you find it being cooked over these swinging grills at various events, especially Christmas markets. As with most foods in Germany, there are many varieties of Bratwurst to choose from based on where you are in the country. My personal favorite is Thüringer Bratwurst, which is commonly found throughout Berlin and East Germany since it originates in the nearby state of Thüringen. Okay, let's move on to another big favorite of mine, Wienerschnitzel. Now I know that technically Wienerschnitzel is an Austrian dish, but the majority of German restaurants have some variety of Wienerschnitzel or just schnitzel on their menus. And Germany and Austria are pretty similar, right? So I think it could also be considered a German food. When I lived in Germany as a child in the 1980s, I always ate Wienerschnitzel whenever I went with my parents to German restaurants. So I've been eating it for a very long time. I guess you could even consider me to be somewhat of a Wienerschnitzel connoisseur. For those that don't know, Wienerschnitzel is a veal cutlet that's pounded thin, breaded, and fried. It could also be made of turkey, chicken, or pork, which isn't as traditional, but is my current favorite. It's usually served with fried potatoes, cucumber salad, and lemon. In Bavaria, I've even had it served with a really nice cucumber and potato salad, which I highly recommend. For an extra treat, you can sometimes get it with a side of Preiselbeeren, which are similar to cranberries. Oh man, I just love Wienerschnitzel. The third top German food on my list is a Berlin creation and German favorite, Currywurst. Currywurst was invented in Berlin in 1949 and has since become a huge hit throughout Germany. It's basically just grilled pork sausage that's sliced and covered with ketchup and curry powder and served with a side of fries. Just like Bratwurst, Currywurst can mostly be found in kiosks throughout Germany. One of the most famous Currywurst stands in Berlin is Knapki's in the Prenzlauer Berg neighborhood, which has been operating since 1930. Whenever you want a quick, good, and cheap meal, Currywurst is the way to go. Döner Kebab is another Berlin creation. It was developed in the 1970s in Berlin's Turkish community. It has since grown to be popular throughout Germany. Döner is basically thinly sliced lamb, beef, or chicken that's topped with grilled vegetables, fresh mixed salad, and various sauces, and served in a pita or rolled into a wrap. One of the best places in Berlin for Döner is called Mustafa's. This small kiosk in Berlin's Kreuzberg district seems to always have a long line. It may take an hour or more to get through the line, but man is it worth it. Their kebabs are delicious and super filling. The final savory dish that I want to talk about is Flammkuchen. This is a really yummy pizza-like dish from the Alsace area of Germany and France. Pfannkuchen is made with a very thin and crispy round or rectangular shaped dough that's topped with cheese or creme fraiche and a wide variety of meats and vegetables. The basic traditional Flammkuchen has creme fraiche, small bits of ham, and sliced scallions, but there are many other options. In fact, there's a Flammkuchen chain restaurant in Germany called Le Feu that has about 50 different types of Flammkuchen, including dessert versions. If you haven't had it, I highly recommend you try it when you come to Germany. Alright, that's it for savory dishes. Now, let's move on to my favorite sweet treats, starting with Lebkuchen. Lebkuchen has been around for a very long time. There are records of German bakers in Ulm and Nuremberg making Lebkuchen dating all the way back to the 13th century. Lebkuchen is a cookie that's similar to a soft gingerbread, and it's usually served at Christmas time. It's available in stores and Christmas markets across Germany. There are, of course, many types of Lebkuchen, but my favorites are the classic Contessa made by Balsen. This particular variety includes cinnamon, cloves, and orange peel with a chocolate base. They are awesome, and I stock up on them as soon as they start selling them in grocery stores in October. You've probably heard of this one, but I bet you've been saying it wrong. In Germany, it's not marzipan, it's marzipan. Marzipan has origins in the Middle East and Mediterranean that go back hundreds of years. In Germany, marzipan gained a major foothold in the port city of Lübeck, where a number of manufacturers sprang up. The most notable of them is called Niederegger, which was founded in 1806. Today, Niederegger marzipan treats can be found in grocery stores throughout Germany. In Lübeck, Niederegger has a large store and a really nice cafe. I like to eat marzipan year-round, and since I can't really eat dairy, I like to get their vegan varieties, which are awesome. Number 8 on my list is another Austrian specialty that is very popular throughout Germany, and it's one of my all-time favorite desserts that I get whenever I have a chance. Now, looking at it, you may think that Sachertorte is just a basic chocolate cake. Why would you pick that when there are so many elaborate and delicious cake varieties in Germany? Well, I just think that Sachertorte, when it's made right, is one of the best. Sachertorte was created in Vienna around 1840. It's essentially a chocolate sponge cake with a chocolate glaze and a thin layer of apricot jam in the middle. If you haven't had it, give it a try when you're in Germany or Austria. I think you'll love it, especially if you're a chocolate lover like me. And that leads me perfectly into my next favorite on the list, chocolate. Chocolate, or Schokolade in German, is of course immensely popular throughout the world, and there are many top chocolate brands. It's no secret that Germans love chocolate. Germany is number 2 in global chocolate consumption, just behind Switzerland. Whether one type of chocolate is better than another is up to individual taste, so even though I prefer German chocolate, I'm not going to say it's the best in the world. But I am going to tell you about a few German chocolate brands that I really like. I'm going to go from less fancy to more fancy. First, there's a German brand that's really well known, but that's also kind of average and cheapy, but still really good, Rittersport. Rittersport is currently sold in about 50 countries worldwide, and it's very easy to find throughout Germany. They make a really good standard chocolate that comes in a wide variety of flavors, and it has this unique square packaging. I really like all their vegan options. Next is a more middle-of-the-road chocolate brand called Hatches that I also like a lot. Hatches was founded in Bremen in 1890 and can be found in grocery stores throughout Germany. They just make really good chocolate. I personally really like these chocolate leaves of theirs. The final chocolate brand I want to mention is more of a high-end brand from Berlin called Rausch. They have a beautiful store with an upstairs cafe that has tons of options, including a huge truffle case. They even have chocolate sculptures. As far as I know, Rausch chocolate is only available in Berlin or online. I always get their chocolates to fill my Advents calendar in December. Okay, I'm going to stop torturing you with all of this awesome food soon. I just want to tell you about one more, namely Pfannkuchen. Now, this is definitely different from the previously mentioned Flammkuchen. Pfannkuchen is a type of donut, and what's funny about it is that it has 2 names. If you're in Berlin, it's called Pfannkuchen, but outside of Berlin, it's called a Berliner. To make things extra confusing, outside of Berlin, Pfannkuchen means pancake. Got it? Another funny thing is that they weren't invented in Berlin. In fact, no one knows where they were invented. The oldest known mention of them is in a Nuremberg cookbook from 1485. Pfannkuchen is just a jam-filled donut that's covered with powdered sugar, but they're really good. The best and most traditional ones are filled with plum jam. But as with everything else on this list, there are many varieties. They are available in bakeries year-round, but they are traditionally eaten on New Year's Eve. This is also when a much wider variety is available. I always make it a point to get to the bakery early on New Year's Eve to get the best and freshest ones. Okay, those are 10 of my favorite German foods. Wait, what? He didn't mention Bratkartoffeln? Well, I mentioned them briefly, but didn't dedicate an entire section to them. Yeah, even I'm surprised by that one. But, like I said at the outset, look for further additions to this list in future videos. To wrap things up, I have to say that I'm so happy that I live in Germany now, and that I can easily enjoy these authentic German goods whenever I want. No more having to settle for cheap imitations. I hope this has been inspiring or at least fun for you all. That's all for now. Tschüss, bis später!